Welcome back to the Flow State Podcast. I'm your host, Marshall Medallion, and today we have a very special guest. I'd like to introduce an entrepreneur with a focus on VIP hospitality and sports marketing, a real Cincinnati concierge, Joey Cook.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. So before all the hosting of athletes and entertainers, before the VIP sections, what was life like? How'd you get started?
Well, actually, what I went to school for, I went off to school. I went to college for basketball. I went off to college on a basketball scholarship, and my major was criminal justice.
Okay.
I was always into marketing, but I wanted to do the criminal justice route. So with like forensics and classes, that was stuff that I always had a passion about. So I was in school after I got my degree and graduated and got my criminal justice degree. I moved back home in 2015. So when I came home, my first thing was like, I want to get on full-time security with the Bengals. That was like my goal. Well, when I went down there, obviously, the guys already working with the team, they was full-time, still to this day. So they told me, well, with me having a degree, what I can do is put you behind the scenes. So working with the coaches, the players, and kind of building those relationships.
Correct.
And then at the same time, me just coming home from college, that's when I got introduced to Patrick Dye scene, and just to make some extra money. Well, I was there quickly and just networking. He put me as his head VIP host. And that's when I kind of it opened up the eyes for me to network and meeting the business owners and taking care of VIP hospitality and guests. And that just turned into my passion, and I fell in love with it. Like immediately.
I love that. As a guest to a city, there's nothing like being hosted. What's kind of your game plan going into creating like a perfect itinerary? Say somebody books you and they're coming. Do you kind of get a list of their preferences, or do you kind of lead? How does that kind of work?
Yeah, so my thing is I always tell somebody, what's your vision? What are you looking for? What do you need? And I'll execute the rest. Just tell me what you need. Like you said, be straightforward with me.
Right.
It makes things easier for me. Tell me what you need, and I'll make the rest happen.
Right.
My job is anybody who calls me, that shows me right there they trust me.
Correct.
So the only person who can kind of mess that relationship up is me.
Correct.
So as soon as I get a call, I try to jump on anything they need immediately. Take care of what they need, just to show them that they can count on me anytime they come through the city, or if they're here, they can call me weekly. So I just try to see what they need. Once I know what they need, that's when I go to my network and make sure I take care of them with the best hospitality and best experience. Because my goal is, if somebody calls me once, I want them to call me every time they're in town.
Right.
So I just kind of figure out what they need, and I take care of it from there.
Okay. Is there any, people that you host that literally are like, we trust you? We have, say, a day, we're performing tomorrow, or we have a game tomorrow, show us the city. Do they ever do that?
Yeah. So during the season now, I got a lot of people who say if the Bengals have a home game on Sunday and their families are in town, they're in the hotel, but they'll say, hey, mom, dad, brother, sister, they want to see the city tonight. Can you set up their dinner? They need a driver. Can you show them a good time? So I make sure I do that. I treat them just the same way as I would the client.
Okay.
And I give them that experience, and that's something that I take pride in. So I'm so locked into my work. I try to, when everybody else is having fun at these events, I have like tunnel vision on making sure that everybody in the room, especially if they're a guest of mine, is having the best time, the best experience, because if they leave with a bad experience, that's on me.
Right.
So that's something I take pride in. It's kind of really helped me build my brand. It's taking care of these clients, and not just them, but their families as well.
Right. So I kind of have a background in like DJing and like weddings. I recently got into weddings, and like different venues have this list of like trusted vendors. Do you kind of have a list of trusted people that you kind of are your go-to?
Like VIP clients, or?
Not even clients, more of like, because you're only one person, right?
Like transportation companies and
transportation, restaurants, hotels, kind of like people that you kind of have built rapport with, that you can kind of trust them as doing business. I can always
count on them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jeff Ruby's is always, there's somebody in town, they want to know, hey, where do I go to eat, or somewhere good to eat?
Yeah.
Say if I'm at the Cigar Lounge and somebody's in town who's never been here, Jeff Ruby's number one.
Yeah.
Montgomery Inn, definitely, because I kind of want to give them that Cincinnati experience.
Exactly.
So I have a transportation company. Pride Transportation or Cincy Elite Rides.
Nice.
Those guys always help me take care of those guys. If anybody calls me for airport pickups, I know if I call them, they'll have somebody on the way right there.
Right.
As far as hotels, I kind of really do that, like the West End or anywhere downtown, based off where they're at or what they need. Try to keep them close to what they want.
For sure.
But other than that, man, I try to show love. I'm big on collaboration, so I also try to show love to businesses who don't get a lot of support.
Right.
So if they want clothes or shoes, I'll try to think of somebody, a small brand.
Right.
Like, hey, I have so-and-so coming in, so they already have a bag waiting for them, so they can get that experience. Like, all right, this is top-notch hospitality. Smaller businesses I love. Anybody I can support, I always will, because I know if you support people, it's gonna come back 10 times.
You guys hear that? If you're a small business owner that have some merch or anything, get a hold of this guy.
Absolutely.
Before building the consistency you have now, did you always prioritize the business aspect, or in the early years was it a little bit easy to get distracted because of the party atmosphere?
Yeah, definitely when I first came home from school, but the thing that really set the thing for us, our brand, our hangar event we did, it kind of like launched our brand. It went from having fun partying to like business.
Right.
Now we're getting calls and working with different brands, and now
Talking about the all-white party?
all-white party.
Yeah, yep.
And we built that, kind of like really built our brand and made a name for our brand.
I remember that.
That's when I had to switch my mindset to business.
Correct.
And now if you have a team, you have a content team, you have DJs, everybody can have, but somebody's got to be locked in. Somebody's got to be
100%.
checking the numbers, checking the clients, checking the tables, the bartenders, making sure everything is good. Because if you want to create an experience, and that's my passion and our passion as a team, is we want to create an experience and send everybody home with a memory.
Right.
And if something bad goes, it could be 100 people in the room. If 99 people have a great time and that one person has a bad experience, that's on me.
Right.
That's on us.
Yeah.
So we try to just focus on the little things. And then if you have that mindset, like, it's cool to have fun, but if you're trying to build a brand, business comes first. And you got to put that before friendship sometimes. It gets lonely sometimes in the grind.
100%.
But you got to work them late nights, a lot of hard work. But if you have a passion for it, it's more fun than anything.
Right. Wow. I was just watching an interview with Dave Grutman, the guy from Miami, and he was saying that that's kind of what led to that question, is that, in the early years you kind of get caught up, but in order to earn that trust, you have to kind of be very intentional about making sure people have a good time. And people that experience don't even realize what went into it on the back end.
Behind the scenes.
Exactly. To make sure it's that, and to make sure it continues to flow. Like, that's why I started this podcast, The Flow State, and I love to have you on, is, we're literally mapping out, okay, this segment of the night's almost over. We got to go here. This is how we got to get over here. This is the person that's going to take us. Okay. Like, we got to have this table ready. Like, it's logistically kind of like a puzzle. And
it's a lot going on.
Yeah, I already know. And then even working with, like, how should I put it? People that take themselves seriously. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
They are used to moving a certain kind of way. I actually had a client, so I cut hair as well. And I had a client that asked me, like, two high schoolers, they just graduated, and they were like, how do you gain the connections that you have? And I was like, you have to learn how to value what's in front of you, how to value connections, and also how to assist what they already have going. Like, I don't expect people that have more on the ball than I do to go out of their way to do something for me. So I've learned to kind of, like, I say lead with flowers, kind of thing. Like, okay, this is what you got going on. Like, let me capture what you have going on and give it to you. And if you like it, you can use me. Cause it's kind of one of these things that, like, they might not go out of their way to do it, but if you make their life easier, then it's like, oh, I didn't know I needed a mobile detailer. I didn't know I needed a barber.
Little things.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I do too. And it's, I think what we admire about what people call celebrities is because they take themselves seriously. And I think a lot of people want to take themselves seriously, but unfortunately they just praise somebody that takes themselves seriously. Whereas you've seen behind the scenes, and these guys are just, I mean, they put their pants on the same way we do.
The same people as us.
They just take their brand very seriously.
Absolutely.
It's a business to them.
They have a lot to protect.
Exactly. I love that. So I've seen this, and I'm curious to hear your kind of take on it. But like over the years, I've seen kind of like I look back at it, you know, going out and all this stuff, and I think people have two kind of like intentions when it comes to, you know, going out. I feel like there's the people that kind of, it's part of their identity, and that's kind of their relatability. And then there are the people that kind of use it for networking and then leveraging connections and business opportunities outside of it. But I think the commonality of both, and this is what I really wanted to speak to you on because it's kind of deep, is that I think we're very communal people.
Yeah.
And we all crave community.
We do.
And I see that with you. You always run with kind of like, for lack of better terms, an entourage, and it's not necessarily a status. It's more of like, you're the trusted guy, and a lot of people that are new to this city or that might not have those established connections yet, it seems like you kind of welcome people to come with you. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I always try to make people feel at home. Sometimes it comes with a lot of pressure.
Of course.
Just feeling like, all right, everybody in here, when they get ready to close their tab, or when everybody gets done, they're gonna look at me for answers.
Right.
And sometimes I don't have all those answers.
Right.
But I know that just from experience and knowing my network that I can make that easier for everybody.
Right.
And I try to do that all the time. The thing with me is just, I try to be, if somebody calls me, and especially when it comes to here in Cincinnati, if they need something, if they ask me like, hey, I need this, I might not be able to know right off the top of my head, but I always say, I got you. And I try to stick to my words, because I know that if I don't know what you need right this second, I know I can make one or two phone calls and I can take care of you. But behind the scenes it does come wrong with a lot of people, but my big thing now is being around the right people. And there's a lot of people, it don't matter who it's about being around people with the same vision,
100%.
same work ethic, same heart, genuinely respecting you and just knowing you as checking on you. Like, hey, how you doing today? How's mom? How's the wife? Or how's the kids? Or anything. Not just calling me because you need me.
Wow.
The people that need access, those are the people that over the years, that's probably the thing that I like the least dealing with, is getting a phone call or a text knowing like I already know what they want. Yeah. It's nothing, but I'll still go out of my way sometimes. Yeah. But as I grow, and especially this year, my biggest thing is growing spiritually. Yes. That's why I love Josh and Jeremy. Just trying to grow around the right people while trying to still grow my brand. Correct. Still trying to balance my life and be good relationships, friendships, and be the best Joey I can be. Wow. Because you can be great at what you do or good at what you do, but if you don't feel like I'm the best in here, you're never gonna perform your best. Wow. So I feel like growing, you gotta be aligned with all departments, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and you gotta have a good core of people around you. I agree. The pressure is fine with me in the business, but it's a lot easier when you got the right people around you.
Yeah, I love that. That leads to my next question. You know, what do you do outside of your work to kind of like decompress or kind of, you know, I like saying that empty pitcher can't fill up other cups. Absolutely, man. So, you know, with the demand, because all these people are, whether they know it or not, they're taking from you. They are. And I mean, they might be paying for it, but you know, you got to pour back into yourself. You got to pour back into yourself. Absolutely. What are some of the things that you do outside of, you know, what you do?
My biggest thing, especially with trying to keep a balance between both brands now, with the most important days of the week to me is Monday. Monday sets the tone for the rest of your week. I agree. So Monday, that's me. That's my day. That's my day. I go to the gym. I get my walks in. I plan out what for the month and for the week. I listen to my music. I make sure that I focus on pouring back into Joey on Monday. Tuesday, I get back to work, but I don't really do too much. There's something, I don't say yeah to everything and signing up for everything anymore. I try to lock in, like I've turned into like a workaholic. I love like putting things together and working on things and behind the scenes, and it takes as long nights with it. So I try to I'm big on during the week, being with my family or being with the people that make me happy and focusing on work and the gym and like you said, pouring back into myself,
Right.
or pouring into the people who's poured into me when I needed to pour into myself. So I love to travel. That's when I really enjoy myself. But here locally, I like to chill, man.
Yeah.
Turn into a homebody.
Yeah.
Work. I like to hang out with mentors, go to the cigar lounge, and just be around people I can learn from.
Yeah.
I don't have to do too much talking, just people I can listen to their conversations and feel like, man, I go home learning something.
Yeah, for sure. Well, without prying too much, do you have any, you know, do you have any clients that you've really enjoyed working with, or repeat clients that kind of when they're in the city, or just ones that you formed relationships with?
Favorite clients, or just somebody that
Yeah, I don't want to
enjoy?
say, I don't want you to, feel like anybody's left
I
out.
would definitely say, just from relationships, is having a relationship since I've been here in 2015. Like some of my favorite guys is comedian Gary Owen. He's from Oxford, so
Okay.
comes from nothing. He grew up in a trailer, man.
Yep.
Seeing a guy like that from Cincinnati make it to the platform,
Yep.
I just love if he calls me, and because he trusts me, I love just being around him and enjoying company and just hearing his stories and behind the scenes with him and the life that he grew up in.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize, like, dang, man, a lot of people go through a lot of things, but anything is possible.
Right.
If you just keep working.
Right.
Joe Mixon, I love Joe. That's
Yep.
my guy. He took a while to get him to trust anybody. But once he trusted me, him and his family, I appreciate any time he calls me and needs something. I make sure that's somebody I go out of my way for.
Right.
And Kirkpatrick, he's a great friend. He's one of those friends that call you about business personally, or he'll call you just to check on you.
I love that.
Like, hey, how you doing? So he's one of my great friends and somebody I appreciate like a brother when it comes to business and just friendship.
Yeah.
So there's probably 3 of my favorite clients for sure.
Okay. I love that. Are you ever doing any of those like trips? I saw you did that like last year, the year before, like.
For the bus?
Yeah, for the bus.
Yeah, so we're working on, the Bengals playing Spain next year.
Okay.
So we're working on behind the scenes right now, trying to put things together over there for the fans and for the experience. And then we're going to pick 2 away games this year, take down DJs, and we'll host Cincinnati Takeovers.
Awesome.
And then we got concerts too. So I think we're going to do Bruno Mars in Columbus.
Okay.
We'll take a bus from here, load it up, take care of people's drinks and food, take them to the show, and bring them back home.
Okay. Awesome. I love that. Do you ever personally cash in on any of your connections when you go to like other cities? Like say that, you happen to be in Miami and you hosted somebody before and you're like, yo, you told me when I was in the city to hit you up. You ever do that?
Sometimes, but based off, I try to see how their night's going first,
Right.
how busy they are. And if I see they're slammed, like
Right.
I try to put myself in their shoes.
Smart.
And then if everybody's like, hey man, can you call so-and-so? I do it at the right time.
Right.
If they're too busy, I see them when I see them, but I'm never gonna put more weight on their shoulders.
Right.
Because I don't want them to do that to me.
Right.
So I just try to respect on the business end. But sometimes I do. And some people, they always come through for me. But sometimes I'm not that type of guy.
Right.
Because I feel like
Because you're in those shoes and you probably see how people probably just use you for access.
I don't want them to look at me like, oh, he just needs, like, no, I respect your business.
Right.
If you're busy, or handle your business.
Right.
And I see you when I see you. I'm going to support you regardless.
Yeah. I love that, bro. You have a good heart. I love that. So you already spoke on it. Any advice you would leave to, say, a young entrepreneur? I know you said you were right out of college when you first started doing this and you've kind of built this brand.
Yeah.
Any kind of advice you would have to, somebody just starting off with anything?
Yeah, definitely advice for anybody trying to build a brand. I would say your reputation is everything. You can work years and years and trying to build something, and just from the people and being around, you can do great. You can build something for 10 to 12 years, but it takes one thing, one mistake, doing something wrong, your actions in public, people see how you move.
For sure.
It takes one thing to ruin everything.
Yeah.
So it's about, like now when I go out, I try to make sure that I'm always on my A game, and I never try to, ever since I started building my brand and my business, I look at it as like, that's my baby, I got to protect that. And it starts with me. And there's only one person who can really ruin that, and that's myself or the team.
Yeah.
So you just got to try to, if you want to be a businessman or you want to build something, you got to move like one, and you got to learn how to become one.
Right.
So I would just say, just make the right decisions, hang out with the right people.
Right.
And just work on stack your days, stack your weeks, and become the best version of yourself each and every day.
I love that. Has hanging out with those kind of people outside of, nightlife really helped that? Like, because those guys are legit businessmen and you treat yourself as such. And so it's kind of better having that community outside of what you do as opposed to trying to like make friends
Absolutely.
in those atmospheres.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I look at it like this, like different product, same work ethic.
Yes, sir.
Does that make sense?
I love that. Yep.
Like I always view it like this, like we're all the quarterbacks of our own teams and we'll hang out in the off season and talk about our season kind of vibe. But like at the end of the day, cause I used to take it personally where I'd invite people and to kind of like my games, and they wouldn't always show up. But a lot of these guys that I know, they're not at my games cause they're at their own games, metaphorically. And now I wouldn't have it any other way. If you're not quarterbacking your own team, that says something about the
people around you.
Exactly. So now, I only surround myself with people that take themselves seriously. And, the idea is the atmosphere. I always tell people we're flames, surround yourself with oxygen, people that can really, breathe life into what you've got going and, collaboration and just trust. I mean, with this day and age, trust is everything. And it takes so much time to like develop it that, and like you said, one day you can ruin it if you're not being intentional about it.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I respect that so much. I love what you have going on too, man. You do a great job.
Thank you so much.
From the outside looking in, I know you're so probably focused on your grind, but what you do a great job.
Man, that means so much to me. What do you have going on right now? I know we caught everybody up with how you got here, but what do you have going on? I know you did like a golf outing this weekend.
Yeah, this past week did it was the 4th annual Jackpot Joey golf outing. They host it every year. Older group, great people, season ticket holders from the West Side.
Okay.
And they kind of called me and the team to spice it up a little bit, bring some guests, entertainment, bring the energy. So he always asks for bringing 1 or 2 players, and I'm always like, all right, this year we brought like 12.
Wow.
So we want it to be an experience for just the kids or the people who don't really get that experience. And the season ticket holders, they get to hang out with the guys all day on the golf course and hear how they act off the field and just be around, hear about who they are as a person. And it kind of makes them realize, like, all right, I really like this kid. I'm gonna support him this season. And then they get to hear the fans, and it's awesome seeing people. A lot of people, depending on where you come from, don't get to experience everything. So if you can bring that to a golf outing or any community event and give somebody an experience that they're gonna go home with for a memory, not just that night, but for a lifetime.
For sure.
Like that's a passion for mine.
Yeah.
And I didn't really come from too much. So if I can offer somebody an experience that I would have died for when I was younger,
wow,
I'm gonna do it every single time.
I love that.
And that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's great. Where can people find you on social media?
On social media, you can find us at CEG Events. Also, our sports marketing company, if you're ever interested in booking talent or an athlete, RSM Marketing.
Okay.
You can contact us on there, our emails, reach out, website or social media. And we have a bunch of stuff coming up this year, working on our 2nd annual Tee Off with Higgins.
Okay. When's that?
That's going to be more than likely in October during the bye week.
Okay.
But it's not confirmed just yet.
My bad.
So we have all that working on behind the scenes. We have some events. We just worked with DaBaby when he was in town. There's some other artists working on booking right now. And then just trying to activate the sports and entertainment and nightlife and put it all together and just continue to pour into the city and pour into people and bring people together from all different parts all together inside one room and continue to create the culture.
Yeah, bro, you're curating. So when you say bring in DaBaby and stuff like that, are you booking concerts or are you doing after parties? Because I saw you did the after party.
Yeah, so we've done shows. Actually, my business partner, he lives in West Palm, but he's kind of like, I do the groundwork, he sits back, and there's a great opportunity to bring it to the table.
Okay.
We've done shows in Vegas. We've booked Kalani. We've done Gary Owen in Huntsville, Alabama. We worked with Tyler Farr, country music artist in Daytona Beach. And then anybody who comes to the city, we kind of built our brand to where it's at now. Most likely them or their team, somebody gets in contact with us for either an after party or hospitality. So we try to tap in with anybody And if we can book them for a show and bring that experience to the city, that's what we try to do too.
Right.
We try to elevate the experience and bring that energy to the city.
Right.
So that's what we've been doing a lot lately. And any artist who comes to the city, we're always looking to work or collaborate with them.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by, bro.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, of course. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll make sure I drop your websites down below on the description. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.